people here are so nice.
And man, I wish we had these in the US.
I'm excited. This should be really cool. It's pretty good. Oh, stuff like this is just too much fun for me.
It's little moments like this where I'd totally forget I was alone.
That might have been the hottest water I've ever been in, but super relaxing after today.
全く見知らぬ国への一人旅。しかも、現地の言葉を学び始めたのはわずか1週間前。皆様は快適な日常から一歩踏み出し、人生で一度きりの挑戦をする勇気がありますか？本日は日本で自身の価値観を完全に覆すこととなったある男性旅行者の壮大な一人旅に密着します。華やかな東京での驚きや、凍てつく雪の中で道に迷うという絶望的なトラブル、そして地元の人々の思いがけない優しさに涙する瞬間まで、この旅は美しい桜の国を探求するだけでなく、成長のための貴重な教訓でもあります。準備はよろしいでしょうか？それでは今すぐ、このアメリカ人男性旅行者と共に日の出ずる国を探求する旅に出発しましょう。
Just 1 week ago I was learning my first words in Japanese, and now I'm sitting in an airport swiping through flashcards hoping it'll be enough. It's my first time leaving the US, my first time using a new language, and my first time experiencing a culture so different from my own. On the one hand, I feel ready, but I'll soon realize I'm absolutely not. As I soon found out, everything from this point on would be different, and even the simplest of tasks would push me outside my comfort zone. In this video, you'll see what happens when I travel the country alone, my limited Japanese fails me, and I rely entirely on strangers to save me.
旅の始まりは活気あふれる首都東京。この男性旅行者は最初の数日間を兄と共に都内を散策して過ごしました。浅草寺への参拝、東京スカイツリーの眺望、渋谷スクランブル交差点の喧騒に身を入れ、巨大な綿菓子を味わい、自分の顔がプリントされたラテを飲み、ユニークなタコ料理を試食するなど、非常に興味深い体験をしました。無数の新しい発見に満ちた賑やかな巨大都市での幕開けは、日本の好意がたい魅力を見事に証明しています。
My trip started in Tokyo because, well, it's Tokyo, but also my brother is currently living there. I hadn't seen him in over a year, so we spent a few days together before I went off on my own. And I wanted to try everything. Sensoji Temple, the Tokyo Skytree, Shibuya Crossing, there was so much to see I barely slept at all my first couple of days. I bought some cotton candy the size of my torso, a latte with my face on it, and I also ate these little octopuses. Octopi? I don't know, but it was definitely an experience. Everything from the food and shops to trains and views was so unique and fun, I can't say enough good things about Tokyo. Having someone else around eased a lot of anxiety I had about the trip, but it also made it feel more like a vacation. I wanted to immerse myself in Japanese culture, embrace discomfort, and honestly, just find out something about myself. And to do that, I needed to be alone. So after a short time together, I said goodbye, officially starting a trip that would change my life.
東京を離れ箱根へ向かった彼は、一人での鉄道移動において早速最初の試練に直面しました。降りる駅を間違え、凍てつく雪の中で道に迷い、ホテルへ向かうバスの運行がすでに終了していることに気づいたのです。荷物を引きずりながら坂を登る疲労と絶望の中、スマートフォンのバッテリーも切れ、手足が凍える中、幸運にも2人の親切な見知らぬ人々に助けられました。彼らは彼を自分たちが宿泊するホテルへ案内し、温かいお茶をご馳走した上、スタッフに頼んで彼のホテルまで無事に送り届ける車を手配してくれました。異教の地での困難な状況下における温かい人情とおもてなしは、まさに美しい奇跡と言えるでしょう。
お願いします。コーヒー。I know this sounds silly, but just ordering breakfast without confusion was a huge win for me. My first stop of the trip was Hakone, a city roughly 86 kilometers from Tokyo, with a population of about 10,000 people. The cool thing about Japan is you can travel almost anywhere using their extensive rail system. The only problem is it's so extensive that with multiple transfers, it's easy to make a mistake. been a little bit hectic. It's my first time traveling alone on Japan Rail system. I got off at the wrong stop, so I'm taking a bit of a detour. But everyone here has been super helpful, even if they don't know a lot of English and I don't know a lot of Japanese. We've been able to piece together what I need. Another thing is they have hot vending machines everywhere. So I'm sitting in the cold rain right now. I just grabbed a hot coffee, which is really awesome. Hakone is famous for its hot springs and also its breathtaking views of Mount Fuji. Unfortunately, it didn't look like I'd see it today, but during my train ride through the mountains, it started to snow, which was a pretty magical experience. But it also led to the first big problem of the trip. I got off my train and started waiting for a bus to take me to my hotel, but after standing there for a bit, someone comes up to me and says, "It isn't coming." Apparently the bus I need to get to my hotel is no longer running. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I check Uber, there aren't any Ubers. I check Lyft, there aren't any Lyfts. I started to get a little nervous, but on Google Maps it just showed they use different apps in Japan. The first one was Didi. I made an account, put in my credit card, can't find a ride. So I download the next one called Go, and it says it'll find me a ride in 13 minutes. 30 minutes goes by and there's no sign of finding a driver, so I just start walking and hope it'll find one on the way. The route to my hotel is entirely uphill. There's snow and slush everywhere. I'm pulling a suitcase, and within 5 minutes, I'm out of breath. My phone is running out of battery, my hands are numb, and there's no sign of finding a driver. I really just didn't know what to do. I must have looked pretty clueless because I start walking again, and two angels come up to me who speak fluent English. We start talking and end up bringing me back to their hotel. They're clearly much better at Japanese than me, so they explain my situation to a worker. Right away makes me a cup of tea, which was so nice. He gets on the phone and starts talking, and within about 15 minutes, someone comes and picks me up. I still don't know if it was his hotel or my hotel or just someone he knew, but a car shows up and I hop in. I honestly don't know if I would have made it on foot. I would have been dragging luggage uphill through the snow, but thanks to the sheer kindness of these people, I eventually made it to my hotel.
The only word I can think to use right now is grateful. So many things went wrong today. I would not have made it here without the help of so many people, so many kind people. Things didn't go according to plan, but I'm not complaining.
トラブルを乗り越え、箱根での夜は、すべての疲れを癒す伝統的な温泉体験によって、非常に思い出深いものとなりました。その後、夕食について尋ねる際、コミュニケーションの行き違いから戸惑う場面もありましたが、思いがけずレストランまでの送迎車を手配してもらえることになりました。スタッフの丁寧な案内とともに味わう絶品の食事は、この旅で最も美味しい料理の一つとなり、最悪の一日が素晴らしい思い出へと変わった瞬間を刻みました。
I described everything I had planned for the day, but I was so relieved to just have a place to sleep for the night. I was totally content just relaxing.
I think I did this right.
I did check off one thing on my list though, which was experiencing the hotel's onsen, which is a Japanese hot spring. If you didn't know, hot springs are full nude, so for obvious reasons, I don't have any footage.
That might have been the hottest water I've ever been in, but it's super relaxing after today.
You would think that at this point the day is over, the adventure is done, nothing else eventful happens. You would think that. You would be wrong. When I booked the hotel, I thought I saw something about dinner. I hadn't eaten lunch, so I go up to the front desk and say something like, "Sumimasen, yoru gohan?" I want to make this clear, I am the tourist. This is 100% on me. But I was not proficient enough to fully follow the conversation. At one point, I end up pulling out Google Translate on my phone. But I understand that she ordered me dinner and I should go outside in about 10 minutes to grab it. 10 minutes go by, I head to the car, a man opens the door. There is no food. I literally motioned to myself to make sure he wanted me to get in, and it turned out they weren't bringing me food, they were bringing me to the food. I felt bad, I would have never asked them to do that. At dinner, my waiter even explained to me how to eat the food because I didn't know how. But 10 out of 10, one of the best meals of the trip.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Literally nothing today went according to plan. I couldn't have gotten through the day on my own. I had so many questions and issues and things weren't working. I've never felt so nervous, uncomfortable, and just helpless trying to do basic things. I'm normally good in these sort of situations, but I was stressed and I just couldn't figure things out. I just can't believe how much people were willing to work with me and help me and go out of their way to make me feel comfortable, to get me what I need, to help me understand. People here are so nice.
翌朝、男性旅行者は時速200マイル、約320キロに達する新幹線に乗り、京都へと旅を続けました。煩わしい手荷物検査が不要で、出発直前でもチケットを購入できるこの交通システムの利便性に、彼はすっかり感銘を受けました。
It'd only been a day, but I was starting to get a taste for what it'd be like on my own. I've always been a pretty independent person who'd rather struggle alone than ask for help. But I was coming to terms with the fact that that wouldn't work here. It was something I kept in mind as I started my journey to Kyoto. すみません、切符新幹線？
新幹線チケット、出せだ、
はい、ありがとうございます。
Oh my goodness, traveling here has been an adventure. Even though Hakone was a little bit of a bust, I do want to see at least one of the things I came here for, which is Odawara Castle. So I'm going to try to get to there, get breakfast, and still make my train. Alright, side quest complete. My train leaves in 20 minutes.
I almost got on the wrong train, but with a little help, everything went well. This was my first time riding a bullet train, and man, I wish we had these in the US. You can buy a ticket up to the minute the train arrives. There's no security or baggage check. The whole process is super efficient. I believe my train topped out at about 200 miles per hour, and to get to Kyoto, it only took about 2 hours. I got to brush up on my flashcards, which was nice, and overall just enjoy the ride.
到着後、彼は伏見稲荷大社の鮮やかな朱色の鳥居が連なる道を歩くという記憶に残るハイキングを体験し、建築美と空間の静寂を存分に堪能しました。時代を超越した文化遺産と現代的なインフラの融合こそが日本の偉大さを形作っているのです。
Finally, things are starting to go my way. So my first stop is going to be Fushi Inari Shrine, and I'm going to see if I can find something quick to eat on the way. Don't really need to sit down. I just want to make up for lost time yesterday.
Fushi Inari Shrine is famous for having thousands of these orange torii gates, and was definitely my favorite area of the trip so far. There was something freeing just experiencing the unknown by myself. Without the distraction of my phone or unrelated conversations, I felt like I could soak in every detail, every piece of architecture. And to be honest, I never felt alone. I did feel out of shape though.
This hike is kicking my butt right now.
Going into this trip, I ignorantly thought if I studied for a week and had access to the internet, I'd be able to do everything myself. But that just wasn't the case. I felt like a child. The knowledge gap was way too big, and I was forced to set aside my pride and rely on the people around me. It was incredibly humbling to laugh at myself, make mistakes, and admit to complete strangers I couldn't do basic things on my own. But I didn't have to. I needed help, and there's nothing wrong with that.
京都での喜びは嵐山エリアまで足を伸ばし、モンキーパークを訪れたことでさらに倍増しました。山道を登った後、野生の猿に直接餌をやることができた彼は大興奮し、心が幸福感で満たされるのを感じ、これを旅の始まり以来最高の体験だと語りました。
The day started off with a train ride to Arashiyama, a district on the western outskirts of Kyoto that has a bucket list activity I'd been dying to check out.
I feel like I'm finally getting the hang of public transportation at this point. Slowly but surely I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with the uncomfortable and just figuring it out as I go.
One of the best parts of traveling alone is you get to decide what to do every minute of the day. There's no debate, no compromising. If you want to try something totally unique, you just go and do it. So when I saw there was a monkey park an hour from my hotel, I knew I had to check it out.
Ichi? Arigatou. I didn't know I'd have to go on a bit of a hike to get there. I'm excited. This should be really cool. Only 600 yen to get in, which is about $4 US, which is not bad at all.
Hi there.
Oh, this is so cool, just walking around with monkeys. Juicy fruit. That was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
I know. I think I just exploded.
I don't know a less cheesy way to put it. My heart is beyond full right now. That was just the cutest thing. I got like tingles in me. I think that's my favorite thing I've done on this trip so far. And it's interesting because it wasn't like easy to find. I think it was like number 12 on a list of things to do. But at least for me, that was just such a cool experience.
さらに驚くべきことに、昼食時に前夜少しだけ言葉を交わした別の一人旅の旅行者と偶然再会し、有意義で温かい会話を交わすことができました。このような心躍る偶然の出来事こそが、旅という体験の素晴らしい魅力です。
Arashiyama is a little more rural than the rest of Kyoto, primarily known for its temples and beautiful bamboo grove. I spent a few hours exploring and taking it all in until I stopped for lunch, where something bizarre happened.
Carrying udon to the side. Hi. Arigatou.
When I sat down, I saw another solo traveler I'd talked to for probably 10 minutes the night before, the only reason being we took pictures of each other, and we somehow ended up at the same restaurant at the same time in a totally different part of the city. No idea what the odds of that happening are, but we ended up eating lunch together, giving each other recommendations, and it felt really good to have a meaningful conversation with someone for the first time in days.
What's your favorite part about solo traveling?
I can decide how long I'm staying in place, where to go, and then just enjoying my time. Yeah, just enjoy my life, enjoy my time, through the road. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. Thank you. No, Daddy, luck, I'll run into you tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's just see you again.
All right, see you later.
Yeah, see you later.
I never imagined I'd get to know anyone on this trip, and I couldn't help but think how it only happened because I was traveling alone.
奈良公園への日帰り旅行は、鹿の群れに囲まれ、餌を求めて服を引っ張られるというユーモラスな一面をもたらしました。一頭の鹿がおやつをもらうために、彼に向かっておとなしく3回お辞儀をした瞬間、彼はすっかり魅了されました。その後、有名な一蘭のラーメンで彼の夜は完璧に締めくくられました。街の中心部における人間と野生動物の驚くべき調和は、まさに日本ならではのユニークな体験です。
I knew very little about Nara, just that there was one specific park I wanted to visit, and that everyone online said it was worth a day trip. But it turned out to be one of the most interesting and unique cities I've ever been to.
I'm really starting to enjoy the public transportation system. It was definitely overwhelming at first, but I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of it. And it's super convenient, just a fun way to see the cities. Anyways, first stop of the day is Nara Park.
I read online that Nara Park had some deer you could feed. If you couldn't tell, I really like animals, so I figured I'd start off there before exploring the rest of the city. It wasn't hard to find.
Oh, the deer are just walking around already. That's so fun. Ichi? Oh, we got one closing in.
There you go. It started off as a super wholesome activity, but within minutes they had me surrounded.
I might be gathering a herd. These two are following me. Whoa, hey. This guy's eating my butt. Come on.
Getting some good shots.
Oh yeah. One of them was he was just nipping at my jacket. He's like, no, you're just gonna give it to me.
One was like, he knew I had these cookies, and then like attacked me, like try to eat my ass.
Yeah. That's what he was doing. He was grabbing me right there.
Bow for you 3 times.
Oh, look at that. That's so cool.
Alright, 3 bounds. 1, 2. Oh, good job. See, that's how you get it.
Stuff like this is just too much fun for me. It's little moments like this where I totally forget I was alone. Even if it's just for 15 minutes, it surprised me how easy it was to share an experience with someone I didn't know and would probably never see again. And that's definitely something I'd recommend while solo traveling. Whether it's starting a conversation with a stranger or trying something new, always push yourself a little outside your comfort zone because that's what you'll remember from the trip more than anything else. Alright, I've worked up an appetite. I'm getting really hungry. I'm making it sort of a goal to try something new to eat every day. A lot of the times that's multiple things. It's kind of fun because sometimes you get really lucky and you find some incredible food, and other days it's less good.
Ichi o kudasai.
Alright, let's give it a shot. It's pretty good. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I never escape the deer. They literally run this town. The sidewalks, the walkways, the temples, it's not just a small fenced-in area, you can't get away from them.
This is my food. Hi, you can't eat this.
Nara was perfect for a day trip, and I ended my day enjoying some delicious Ichiran ramen, which is a famous restaurant chain throughout Japan. It was a totally different vibe to what I'd experienced.
旅の最終目的地である大阪では、手荷物預かり所で日本語の単語を間違えて少し恥ずかしい思いをしましたが、それも一人旅の醍醐味だと受け止めていました。彼はコンパクトでありながら非常に快適で居心地の良いカプセルホテルでの宿泊を体験することにしました。
So for no real reason other than I just felt like it, I just booked tomorrow's night at a capsule hotel. Over the past couple days, I've really gotten more comfortable with just trying things, whether that's going to a location and not really knowing what to expect, or ordering food and not really knowing what it is. I'm just getting a lot more comfortable with the unknown, and I'm excited to try just one more new thing. I just realized the total came out to 4,750 yen, which converts to only about $32 USD, so pretty cheap. Expectations are not very high, but it's gonna be an experience. Leaving my hotel and traveling to a new city always made me a little anxious. I'd made plenty of mistakes traveling up until this point, and when I least expected it, I'd make a complete fool of myself. Ohayou gozaimasu. Nyomotsu no oroshi?
Luggage wholesaler.
I can't even watch that back. I cringe so hard. I meant to say luggage drop-off. I don't even know where that came from. Unsurprisingly, we finished the conversation in English. That definitely could have gone better. As soon as I got up to the counter, I got kind of nervous and flustered, but all is well. I guess part of that goes into the difference between traveling solo versus traveling with people. When you're traveling alone... Hello! When you're traveling alone, it's always a little bit more of an adventure. Everything has a little bit of discomfort. You make mistakes. It's not always fun, but it keeps you on edge, keeps you learning, keeps you growing. Versus when you're traveling with a group, it's a lot more of a vacation. You've got other people to pick up the slack. I'm very much more engulfed in everything right now. All right, I'm gonna drop by the capsule hotel real quick, drop a few things off, and try to give you a little tour before it's like 8 p.m. and people are actually trying to sleep in there. I'm so curious to see what the inside looks like. So I guess that's where I'm sleeping tonight. Well, there's maybe 7.5 feet by 4 feet? It's decently roomy for sure. Looks like you got chargers, an alarm, that's nice. Clock, calendar. There's a lamp, there's ventilation. Lights back there as well for the bed lamp. And it looks like there's a dimmer for that. Overall, it seems pretty cozy.
果てしなく続くかのような14階建ての商業施設が立ち並ぶ 賑やかな心斎橋のショッピングエリアに圧倒されながら、旅は幕を閉じました。日本の偉大さは、息を飲むような絶景だけでなく、旅行者が恐怖心を克服し、日々成長していくのを後押ししてくれる点にもあるのです。
I finished up the day in Shinsaibashi, which is Osaka's main shopping area. It made anywhere I've ever been look like a joke. Restaurant after restaurant, store after store. At one point, I just stumbled upon a 14-story mall.
I think this might be the craziest shopping area I've ever seen. It just keeps going.
Traveling around Japan was the #1, unquestionably most incredible place I've ever been. Every little thing made me giddy.
旅は終わりましたが、壮大で人情味あふれる日本の余韻は、間違いなく深く刻まれ続けることでしょう。当初の戸惑いや恐怖の裏側で、コンフォートゾーンを抜け出して一人旅に出ることこそが、世界を探求し、自分自身を深く理解するための最高の特権であることを、この地は証明してくれました。
I'd never make the argument that traveling alone is more fun than doing it with your best friends, but I wouldn't say it isn't either. It's difficult, sometimes awkward, and even the simplest of tasks feel like an adventure. And that's something I'd never experienced with the safety net of a group. Japan is a beautiful country full of incredibly kind people, and the longer I was there, the more I learned that it was okay to make mistakes. At times it was hard, I didn't know what I was doing, and I needed help. But throughout the entire trip, I was shown nothing but kindness.
Matcha gunyu. Arigatou gozaimasu.
I've missed a lot of opportunities in my life, and usually it boils down to fear. I'm afraid of trying something difficult, afraid of failing, and I'm terrified of what people think of me. Every time I think I've conquered that one, it slowly creeps up on me again. But my newest fear is the fear of missing out. The fear of not doing things because a voice in my head says it'll be uncomfortable. Discomfort sucks in the short term, but it pushes us to grow, to chase down the life we want, and become stronger versions of ourselves. It's the price of admission for the most incredible experiences in life.
皆様は、この旅のどの瞬間に最も心を打たれましたか？そして、ご自身の一人旅への準備はできていますか？ぜひ下のコメント欄でご意見をシェアしてください。今後もインスピレーションを与える物語を見逃さないよう、高評価とチャンネル登録をお忘れなく。それでは、また次回お会いしましょう。